Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. Violent storms slamming several states. You'll see the family caught in the middle of a tornado right near the airport. Also, the judge in Donald Trump's criminal trial has been warning Trump. Well, tonight here, his new warning for someone else. And tonight, the neighbor charged in what authorities believe was a racially motivated shooting. They say he shot the mother next door, who is white. She has two black sons. What was behind this? First tonight here, the storms hitting several states. The tornado striking Tallahassee. Massive damage, one person killed. More than 200,000 customers without power tonight.
Baby, just pull.
This evening, the staggering toll amid this outbreak of severe storms. In New York City tonight, Donald Trump's criminal trial. Trump's one-time lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, now set to take the stand. And tonight, the judge with a warning for Cohen. Just in tonight, the new U.S. report criticizing Israel's military action inside Gaza, saying it is, quote, reasonable to assess that some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligation under international law. So what does this mean moving forward? And where are the talks tonight with Hamas still holding dozens of hostages? Martha Raddatz standing by with this new report. Here in the U.S., a mother is shot by her neighbor, authorities say. They call this a hate crime. They say the neighbor shot the woman next door, a mother of two. They say she has two black sons, and authorities now say this was racially motivated. Tonight, the images we have not seen before, the newly released body camera video showing first responders racing to that collapsed bridge in Baltimore and what the video reveals. Tonight, overseas, Russia's new assault on northern Ukraine. The U.S. now rushing a new shipment of weapons to Ukraine. James Longman reporting. Here in this country, keep an eye out tonight and right into the weekend, the very rare solar storm. Millions of Americans could see the northern lights. But could this geomagnetic storm also bring cell phone issues, possible GPS and internet disruptions? But authorities are warning tonight. This evening, the school board reinstating Confederate names for two of their local schools. 50 years later, the Beatles' Let It Be. In a new light. You'll see it right here. And our persons of the week, the mother and daughter you won't forget, along with a very friendly reminder here tonight, not to forget Sunday.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Friday night. And what a week it has been for millions of Americans in the line of these horrific and deadly storms. Tonight, the violent storm slamming several states yet again, and they've been deadly again as well. Right across the Gulf into the east tonight, the staggering numbers here this evening, more than 125 reported tornadoes across 22 states this week. And then this number, at least one reported or confirmed tornado every single day for the past 16 days now. Tonight, the images coming in here, severe storms in Wimberley, Texas, between San Antonio and Austin, driving rain. You can see the damaging winds, more than 65 miles an hour. In Tallahassee, a family caught in a tornado right near the airport. You can hear them frantically trying to pull off the road just to survive it. Power lines down, damaged homes near the campus of FSU. One woman was killed when a tree fell on her home. Tonight, hundreds of thousands are without power, and ABC's Faith Abube leading us off. She's in Tallahassee for us.
Tonight, a wall of violent storms hammering the South, leaving hundreds of thousands of families without power.
Oh, my God.
Gary Kyle Jr. and his wife Tammy caught in a radar-confirmed tornado near the Tallahassee airport. Their son calling to warn them.
Pull over.
He's trying to get us out of this
Baby,
area.
I was calling you. There's a tornado on the ground.
A web of wires and snapped power poles draped over neighborhoods in Tallahassee, from Florida State University's campus to the Arts District. Anna Edson McBride writing out the storm in her now damaged art gallery.
Loud. I mean, the noise is just really indescribable.
Traffic lights out across the city. Trees down everywhere, crashing through homes.
Oh my God.
Leon County authorities say one woman was killed when a tree fell on her family's house. The storms barreling east from Texas, where straight-line winds gusted to hurricane strength outside Austin. The system dropping hailstones bigger than softballs. The storms, part of an epic weeks-long outbreak of severe weather. The Storm Prediction Center confirming there's been at least one reported or confirmed tornado every day for the past 16 days. And David, businesses here in the Arts District saw some of the worst damage. You can see behind me building after building with extensive damage to their roof, power lines still dangling. Authorities say 11 electrical substations were damaged, and crews have been called in from as far away as Louisiana and Alabama to help. David.
Millions of Americans caught in the path of these storms this week. Faith Abube leading us off. Thank you, Faith. We're going to turn now to the new warning tonight from the judge in Donald Trump's criminal trial. This time, the warning is not aimed at the former president. Instead, the warning is for Michael Cohen, Trump's one-time lawyer and fixer, who is now set to take the stand. Aaron Katersky tonight with what the judge said.
After repeatedly ordering Donald Trump to stop publicly attacking witnesses, tonight Judge Juan Merchan warning the prosecution's star witness to stop publicly attacking Donald Trump. The warning directed at Trump's former fixer Michael Cohen, who brokered the hush money deal with porn actress Stormy Daniels. Cohen, who was expected to testify Monday, has been skewering Trump online, appearing on TikTok wearing a shirt showing Trump behind bars.
Trump 2024, more like Trump 20 to 24 years.
Today, Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche asking Judge Merchan to put Cohen under a gag order the same way President Trump is, saying it's becoming a problem every single day that President Trump is not allowed to respond to this witness. Prosecutor Josh Steinglass insisting he has no control over Cohen, adding, "We had repeatedly asked the witnesses not to do that." Merchan said there would be no gag order, but he instructed prosecutors to communicate to Mr. Cohen that the judge is asking him to refrain from making any more statements about this case and to make it clear you are communicating that on behalf of the bench. Trump unsatisfied.
Everybody can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but I'm not allowed to say anything about anybody.
But Trump's lawyers did notch a clear win today. The judge ruling prosecutors could not show the jury a 1999 video of Trump bragging about his knowledge of campaign finance laws.
I think nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
Prosecutors wanted to use it to show Trump would have known Cohen's hush money arrangement with Daniels amounted to an illegal campaign contribution. But the judge ruled that out, telling prosecutors you are asking the jurors to draw an inference that because Mr. Trump knew the laws in 1999, he knew them in 2016. That's a lot of speculation. Michael Cohen is on the witness stand here Monday. David, there is no overstating the importance of his testimony. He says he was in the room with Donald Trump discussing the hush payment to Stormy Daniels at the heart of the case. The cross-examination is going to be brutal. And after Cohen, the prosecutors say they have only one witness left and could rest their case as soon as next week, David.
You'll be back on Monday. Aaron Katersky, thank you. We're also following news coming in tonight, the new U.S. report criticizing Israel's military action inside Gaza, saying it is, quote, reasonable to assess that some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligation under international law. So what does this mean moving forward? Martha Raddatz with late reporting tonight on this report just out from the State Department.
Tonight, a new report finding Israel may have violated international humanitarian law in Gaza in its use of American-supplied weapons, but lacking enough information to officially make that conclusion, given the nature of the conflict in Gaza. The State Department report saying it is reasonable to assess that some U.S. weapons have been used in instances inconsistent with Israel's obligation under international law, adding that the high levels of civilian casualties caused by those weapons raises substantial questions as to whether the IDF is using them effectively in all cases. Those international laws require foreign governments to take steps to protect civilians and allow humanitarian aid into war zones. This comes as Israeli media reporting the War Cabinet has voted to expand operations in Rafah. The principal reason why President Biden is withholding weapons and threatening to withhold more. George Stephanopoulos speaking to Biden's national security advisor today.
Israel's ambassador to the United States has responded to President Biden's decision not to provide some offensive weapons that could be used in the Rafah invasion, saying it sends the wrong message to Hamas and puts Israel in a corner. How do you respond to that?
Nobody has been a stronger supporter of Israel than Joe Biden. He has sent an enormous amount of capability for Israel to take on Hamas.
What would happen if they went in?
Well, first, because there's 1 million people there in very close quarters who've been pushed there because of the military operations in other parts of Gaza, you would have really significant civilian casualties.
George right there in the Situation Room. Let's bring in Martha back with us tonight. Martha, amid this debate over any full-scale invasion of Rafah, President Biden, of course, who says the U.S. will not supply the weapons for any full-scale invasion. We also know that there have been these very tense ceasefire talks. Of course, dozens of hostages still being held by Hamas, and these talks have now essentially collapsed over this.
Exactly, David. There was a moment of hope with those talks, but they have fully broken down. Hamas demanding a permanent ceasefire, Israel offering only a temporary one. And of course, caught in the middle of all this, millions of Palestinian civilians and more than 100 Israeli hostages, including 5 Americans. David?
Martha Raddatz with us. Martha, thank you. And we should note that George's full interview with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan inside the Situation Room on Good Morning America, first thing Monday morning. Martha and George, we thank you both. In the meantime, tonight we move on here to the shooting of a mother. Authorities say this is racially motivated. They say the mother was shot by her neighbor. Authorities calling it a hate crime. They say the mother, who is white, has 2 black sons. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, this Illinois man is in jail, charged with trying to kill his neighbor because he hated that she had a black partner and black children. John Shadbar, 70, in court on 8 felony charges, including attempted murder and hate crime, accused of shooting at his neighbor multiple times with an assault-style rifle on Tuesday evening. Tonight, 45-year-old Melissa Robertson remaining in the hospital in critical condition with wounds to her stomach and hand.
We were all very shocked when this happened, but honestly and sadly, we're not surprised. This has been 9 years in coming.
According to the charges, Shadbar had repeatedly harassed Robertson and her black children.
We've called the cops, and he's thrown fireworks and he shot blanks, and nothing was done, and it's very unfortunate.
If convicted, Shadbar faces decades in prison. And David, according to court records, Ms. Robertson faces permanent disability and disfigurement.
Pierre Thomas tonight. Thank you, Pierre. We turn this evening to the dramatic images we have not seen before, moments after that bridge collapse in Baltimore. Tonight, the newly released body camera video showing first responders racing to the scene. Terry Moran on this again tonight.
This is the moment a police Marine unit first arrived on the scene of that deadly bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Key bridge is down. There's last reported at least several vehicles in the water, with several people still unaccounted for.
You hear an officer shouting up to the crew on the Dolly, that massive cargo ship that brought the bridge down.
Is anybody hurt? Just a one cut to the fingers?
In the dark of night, rescuers desperately searching for 6 construction workers who were on that bridge when it plunged into the water. Just days after that catastrophic collapse, we got an up-close look at the wreckage.
Up close to it, you see the sheer scale and the violence of what happened here. How the bridge came down on the ship, destroying so much of the bow.
The new video comes just days after officials announced that the body of the 6th and final victim, Jose Minor Lopez, was recovered in the wreckage.
David, Maryland state lawmakers have passed legislation to provide financial help to the families of those 6 men, the construction workers who went down when the bridge collapsed, and nonprofit groups and churches have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars more. David?
Terry Moran, who has covered this bridge collapse from the very start for us. Thank you, Terry. Overseas tonight, into Russia's new assault on northern Ukraine, the U.S. rushing a new shipment of weapons to Ukraine. Here's our foreign correspondent, James Longman, now.
Tonight, as the U.S. confirms a major new aid package to Ukraine, signs of a possible full-scale Russian offensive starting in the northeast of the country. New satellite images show the areas attacked in a Ukrainian town just 3 miles from the border. Russian forces have been massing on that border for weeks. But after a night of heavy bombardment, early this morning, armoured vehicles attempted to punch through in the direction of Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. The city was almost occupied when Russia launched its invasion more than 2 years ago. And since then, it's been rocked by near-daily missile and drone attacks. The Defence Ministry says reserves are now deployed to repel the advance, but that fierce fighting continues. Delays in much-needed aid from the West have allowed Russia to build up its forces and put significant pressure on Ukrainian positions. It comes as the Pentagon confirmed today that new $400 million aid package is on its way to Ukraine. It includes Patriot missiles, armoured vehicles and Javelin anti-tank systems. We saw for ourselves the difference heavy weapons make on the battlefield.
And on a time frame for that aid, David, the US has pre-positioned critical equipment in the region. The idea is to get those weapons into Ukraine as quickly as possible. David?
James Longman, who has traveled to Ukraine so often. James, thank you. Meantime, back here in the U.S., and keep an eye out tonight and right into the weekend, millions of Americans could actually see the northern lights as far south as Alabama because of this very rare solar storm. But could this geomagnetic storm also bring possible cell phone, GPS, and internet disruptions? But authorities are warning tonight, and here's Alex Perez.
Tonight, millions of Americans across the upper U.S. will potentially see the northern lights thanks to a severe solar storm. NOAA issuing this rare watch for the first time in nearly 20 years. A geomagnetic storm so strong it could possibly threaten communications and power grids here on Earth. Solar flares triggering spectacular displays of the aurora borealis, potentially as far south as Alabama. The first solar flares erupting Wednesday morning, directed towards Earth from the sun's corona, visible from Earth only during a total solar eclipse. The cosmic phenomenon Americans across the country stopped to witness just a little over a month ago. Astrophysicists warn the impact of this storm, a 4 on a scale of 1 to 5, could have an effect right here on Earth, potentially disrupting communications, the power grid, radio signals, and GPS and other satellite operations.
Geomagnetic storm, even a severe one, may not be all that troubling. But if we're not built to take it, then it could cause big problems.
And David, this solar activity could continue through the weekend. The cloud coverage in the northeast and here in parts of the Great Lake could keep us from seeing the northern lights tonight. But if you're anywhere from Washington State all the way to Wisconsin, you could have a good chance. The best opportunities will be between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. this weekend. David?
All right, we'll check it out. Remember the solar eclipse, we didn't think we'd see it, and a lot of people did, so we'll check it out for sure. Alex, thank you. When we come back, the school board reinstating Confederate names for its schools, and the Beatles' Let It Be in a new light. You'll hear it right here tonight, more than 50 years later. Tonight, 2 Virginia schools are going back to their Confederate names. The school board in Shenandoah County, about 100 miles west of Washington, D.C., voting nearly unanimously for changing the names back. The school's named after key Confederate figures who owned enslaved people. When we come back here tonight, the new video for Let It Be, more than 50 years later, your first look at the Beatles and this song in a moment. To the Index tonight, more than 50 years later, a new look at the Beatles, Let It Be. The new music video showing John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, featuring clips from the restored 1970 documentary, also, of course, called Let It Be. It's now streaming on Disney+. When we come back here tonight, just in, the mother and daughter who sent in a message for every mom out there watching tonight. You won't forget this. Finally tonight, the military mom and the daughter determined to follow in her footsteps. Our persons of the week. Tonight, on this Mother's Day weekend, a mother and daughter grateful to be marking it together. Senior Master Sergeant Jennifer DeCou on the left and her daughter, Senior Airman Jenica DeCou, both serving in the Air National Guard, and tonight, both currently deployed in Japan. This is mother and daughter when mom returned home from a deployment 15 years ago, when Jenica was just 6. In her mother's arms there, and growing up determined to follow in her footsteps. When Jenica turned 18, she enlisted, now serving in the 114th Fighter Wing of the South Dakota Air National Guard with her mother, the Senior Master Sergeant. Military service has been in their family for generations. Tonight, mother and daughter continuing the family tradition. The mom, Jennifer, a mother of 3, the family back home in Lenox, South Dakota, watching right outside Sioux Falls, sending them off on deployment just last month. And right here tonight,
hi, David, from Kadena Air Force Base, Japan.
Mother and daughter, Senior Master Sergeant DeCou and Senior Airman DeCou.
We are the first mother-daughter duo to be deployed with our unit as part of our fighter aviation package.
We are so grateful to be deployed alongside one another for this Mother's Day.
Tonight, both proudly serving and both with a message for all moms on Mother's Day.
We wanted to wish every other mother out there a happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
And so we choose Jennifer and Jenica. Thank you for your service and happy Mother's Day to all of our moms and stepmoms. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.